Hello, sweet friends, and happy Monday. I'm going to run through the first 2 days of your new packet this morning, just in case you have questions. And then if that does not help, then you can just reach out and let me know. So you got a new packet yesterday in your mailbox or at the front of your door. And this is what it looked like. So you have a section at the beginning that is every day. So let's unclip that. And you have a new word family. You have the IG word family to work on this week. The same thing travels through today. Just read the words, underline the IG, the IG part, and work your way through. If you're not done with last week's, finish last week's before you start this one. It's not a big deal. This is just helpful to get you thinking about words that are spelled similarly. And so if you see IG, you know, oh, that says IG. You don't have to say IG every time and then put it together. It makes it a little less work. You also have a clip together section of more letters. Last week, you got this note talking to your mom and dad about how we're going to work on letters for the next few weeks. So this is your new letter writing paper. So remember, date at the top, dear, and who you're writing to. This is your body of your letter. Your closing, love, sincerely, from your son, your daughter, your sister, your brother, and then your name goes at the bottom. Okay, so there is one of these for every day. However, if you're writing more than one letter a day, just use plain paper or notebook paper from the notebook that I brought you. If you still have some of this left over from last week, then use that, but you will continue to get 5 sheets every week that we're working on these. So hopefully they look really nice. If you have one that you're super proud of, ask mom and dad to snap a little picture and send it to me. I would love to read your letters. Okay? All right, after that, I did include another daily journal in case you love journal writing, which some of you might. You might be ready for a new one. If you haven't been writing every day in your journal, that's okay. So finish the one you're working in, and this is just good to like hang on to. Remember, you can always use these in the summer as well, but sometimes it's just nice to write down something that maybe exciting happened, or maybe your day was just not very exciting and so you wanted to write about that. That's fine too. Okay, so that is your everyday section. However, one thing that is not in there is word study like you got last week. So word study, typically at school in kindergarten, we spend about 2 weeks on. You will not get new word study until next packet. Okay, so keep working on your words that you got last week. Your menu of choosing different things should carry you through the rest of this week. So sort your words, spell your words, draw your words, write your words. Think of other words that could go in your sort, write sentences with your words. There's lots of things that you can do with them. So hang on to those and keep working through that, and you'll get a new one next week. Okay? All right, now, day 1, which would be today, Monday, if you're on track. If you're a little behind, that's fine. So when you get to this, you'll know what to do. All right, you have an April booklet. Look at these cute little ducks under the umbrella. This is a review, so you are working on ot words, and here are some little raindrops. So you have to make real words. So like if I said ot, I made the word hot, so I would write H, and you color in the raindrop, okay? Cot, remember we've talked about that at school. That's a little bed that lays close to the ground that you can unfold. So cot is a real word, okay? Pot, got. Now look at down here. You have a V, vot. Does that sound like a real word to you? I don't think it does either. So maybe that is the one that maybe you want use. If that is the case, then you might put a little X on that one, okay? All right, turn the page. You have a tally mark review, okay? So you have 5. So your job is to draw 5 tally marks. Remember with tally marks, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, bring. Our 5 goes across the lines to show 5 tally marks. So you have 10, 8, ooh, challenge 14, you even have 17 down here. So you're really gonna have to think about where those brings go and keep up with your counting. You have a boy here that's feeding a rabbit that you were to write about. Over here, you are actually going to count the tally marks and write the number. So I see 5, 6, 7. So I'm going to write 7. 5 plus 5 is 10, plus 1 more is 11. So that would be number 11, okay? And over here, there are some mixed up sight words. Somebody moved the letters around. So you have to figure out which word at the top of the flower pot this is. So this is A-S-D-I. So I'm going to look for a word that has, I think I found it. I think it's said, S-A-I-D. So I'm going to write said over here and then mark it out so I know I've used it, okay? So that's one activity you have for today. This one is long I, like in I, you hear the I, and short I, like in pig, okay? Your job is to cut out the picture and decide, does it say I or I? So if I do I hear I, so I'm going to put that here, okay? So ix, I hear short I. So that's going to go over here, okay? Fish, this is a pie, dice, pin, 5, lip, slide, wig, okay? So sort them on the tree where they go. All right, we've been doing push and pull last week, so a lot of you should have a good idea about pushes and pulls now. So one thing you have, this is called a Venn diagram, which is where you sort different things that you might have done. Did you just push it? Did you just pull it? Or was there something you could do both? Okay, so you can draw a picture or write the word, draw something you can push, something you can pull, and something that you can do both, okay? Then you have a car speed experiment in here for push and pull. The directions are here. Now, if you don't have a car, I feel like most of you will have a car. But if you don't, in your packet, I included a marble. You can use that instead of the car. You will need it for later on this week for an experiment, but you can use it for this because it rolls just like a car does. So your job is to build a ramp. Do you see how steep ramp number 1 is? And ramp number 2 is not as steep, okay? So your job is, let's read the experiment. Oh, set up 2 ramps. So you need a steep one and a not so steep one at the same time. Make them 2 different heights. This said it says I will use cardboard to put the ramps on. You could use books, you could use your backpack, you could use stairs, you could use all kinds of different things that you can find in your house to adjust your ramps. See, so you're going to race the cars or marbles, or a car and a marble, and you're going to tally each time the cars reach the wall first. If you can't do it into a wall, do it to the ground. So mark the one that reaches first. So if you look here, it says tally. So you're going to race both of them. If this car wins the first race, you're going to pull a tally mark because they were the winner. If you race them again and this one wins, you're going to put a tally here, okay? It tells you that you're going to test different things. I would say go about 10 races and then look at your tally marks, okay? Down here, there's some lines. Your job is to write what you think about your experiment. Did ramp number 1 win the most? Did ramp number 2 lose the most, or the other way around? You have to write your conclusion, what you figured out from this experiment. Is it the steeper the ramp, the faster the car or the marble goes? Or is it less steep, makes it go faster? Okay, that, your tally marks are what's going to tell you that. So if this one is winning the most, then that tells you a steeper ramp goes faster. May not always go farther, but it does go faster maybe. You're going to have to try it out and see, okay, and see what your results are. This is definitely being a scientist. You're going to run an experiment and find out the answer, okay? All right, now that is science. Then you have a few things for math. I gave you this game called Spinning Around. Now, it's a lot clipped together. So this is the front, so mom and dad can help read the directions, or brother and sister. You can play this game 6 different times, okay? So when you turn the page, there is 2 spinners on every page, and each spinner is a little different. So you can choose which spinner you want to use. Now, if you notice, this one only has 4 numbers. This one has 5 numbers on both of the spinners. And this one has 6 numbers. Okay, so I might start with a 4 spinner. You can choose the boy or the girl, it doesn't matter, but make sure you use the same spinner every time. This would be your game board, okay? So you're gonna start up here with this arrow, all right? And you are going to spin the spinner. Let's see, students will spin the spinner with a paper clip and move that many spaces around the game board. Students will add the number they spun to the space they landed on. If they get the sum correct, they will color the circle in on the board. So, here it is. You would start here at the arrow. If I spin my spinner and I'm playing on the boy, if I spin 2, I would go 1, 2. 5 plus 2 is 7. If I get it right, I get to color it in. Okay, all right, so you start from the last spot colored, skip any spots already colored in. So if you're playing with mom or dad or brother or sister, if they've already colored it, you get to skip it and you only count the ones that are white. Does that make sense? Okay, your job is to try to get to the middle. When the students reach the center of the game board, they continue playing by heading back to the start and going around the game board using the uncolored spaces. Both students work together and continue playing until all spaces on the game board are colored in. So you're not done with the game just because you reach here. You're done when all the circles are colored in. So this is a game you can play by yourself or with someone in your family at your house. You decide. But look, I gave you a game board for each spinner in this pack. So you can stretch this out. You might play once today, you might play later on this week, you might play this weekend. So you can kind of talk to mom and dad and spread this out. You do not need to do them all at one go because that's going to be a lot of work and you're going to be sitting there for a while. So I just gave you some choices to help you spread it out some. I should probably clip that back together so I can keep them together for myself. All right, once you do your spinner, there are 2 other little math sheets in here. This is teen numbers. Now this one might be a little confusing for some people because it talks about on and off, okay? So, borrow Charlie here for a second. Oh, it's kind of hard to see. All right, so here we have 15, right? So it says 15 is how many on and how many off. So we know 15 is 10 and 5. So I would go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay, can you see that? So do you see how I have 10 on the 10 frame and 5 off of the 10 frame? So 15 is 10 on and 5 off. Okay, that's what they want you to do in case this is confusing. So 12 would be 10 on and 2 off. 12 is 10 on and 2 off. Okay, so you're going to kind of work through that. So I know that's a little different than normal, so I wanted to make sure you understood that one. And then last week, I think you got a few of these number line stories. Maybe, no, maybe you didn't. So anyways, there's a story up here for you to read. There are 8 fish. 5 fish go away. How many fish are left? You have to draw the story first. So it says, let me get my little crayon here. It says there are 8 fish, so I'm going to draw 8 fish. Remember, we don't have to be fancy artists when we draw our math stories. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So here are my little green fish. It says 5 fish go away. So are we going to draw more fish or get rid of some of them? Well, if they're going away, then we have to get rid of them. So I'm going to draw X's on the 5 fish that are going away. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You see my X's? Okay, so how many do I have left? 3. Now here is a number line, okay? So what you can do here, another way to solve besides drawing, is you come down here to 8, right there, and you hop backward because you're getting rid of 5. So you would go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And what number did I land on? 3. Just like 3 fish are left up here, okay? Then down here it says write a number sentence. So I'm going to start with my big number. I started with 8 fish. If they're going away, minus, how many did we X out? 5. And that left us with 3. So that's my number sentence. And then your answer, there are how many fish left? 3. So then we would write 3. This just shows you that there's more than one way to solve a problem. A picture might be helpful. The number line might be helpful. Writing out the number sentence may be helpful for you. And then ultimately we got 3, 3, and 3. So we got the same answer in each box. Okay? You're going to be seeing a few of those occasionally. All right? So that's your math activities for today. I know it's kind of a lot, so just do what you can. All right? So that is all Monday. All right? So keep that in mind. Again, you do not have to get every single bit of it done in one day. I know moms and dads are very busy right now with work, and then maybe your job is to help occupy yourself and play. Maybe someone can't help you all the time, and that's okay. You can always do the work you know how to do and leave the work that you're not sure about to the side until someone can come and help you. Kind of like school. You do your best and keep going. Okay? So, if we were talking about day 2, which would technically be Tuesday or tomorrow if you watch this on Monday, you still have your everyday stuff. You still have your egg packet, you still have letter writing, you have your daily journal, you have your word study. Choose a different activity to do with your words from last week. Okay, going into the paper sheets. Oh yeah, you have reading every day too. I don't have those in my packet because different people got different things to read. You have a book or a paper story every day, and I try to alternate if I could. Maybe you have a paper on Monday, which means you have a book on Tuesday. Paper on Wednesday, book on Wednesday, or book on Thursday. Okay, so you do have reading every day. So if you do nothing else, please write something every day. Please read something every day. Okay, those are probably the most important things to make sure that you keep your brain sharp and ready for first grade. Those are just super, super important things. If you do nothing else, please make sure you're doing those things. Okay, but the more you do, the more your brain is going to learn, the smarter you're going to be, and the better prepared you will be for first grade, since we cannot be together right now. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump into Tuesday. Aside from your everyday work, you have something to read that you need to work on. This is April Made for Mornings Spelling and Phonics. So down here you have a color code. You're listening for the CR, CR, like crazy. Those pictures are going to be red, and then TR, tur, sometimes we say chur, is going to be blue. Okay, so we're going to say crayon would be red. Tree, sometimes we say tree, but you hear the R in there, that tells you it's TR. Okay, terrain. This is a crib, right? Crown, cry, tractor, and triangle. All right, so go through those. Here, you are circling the blend at the beginning of these words. Now, some of these are easy. Some of them are a little tricky. So you're going to have to be really thinking and listening. So here you have grass, G-R, grape, frog. This is a dress. We tend to say dress, but it's not a J, dress. So you have dr, dur. You have tr, tur. Is it a tress? I don't think so. Gr, is it a gress? No. Sometimes it's fun to make these different silly words with these blends at the beginning. Okay, this is fries. Boy, don't we like those. And a drill. Okay. And down here, you're circling again. We have a drum, crab. Oh, look at that glass. There's a crack, right? Track, drop, right? And a tree. So circle those. Now here, you're working on some word families that we've already done this year, like an, van. We're going to change it to pan, can, fan. So you're changing that first letter, and you're keeping the A-N the same. For mat, we have mat, hat, cat, bat. They also rhyme. Did you notice that? Lap, map, cap, nap. All right, down here, we've got some different ones. We have ugh for rug, mug, hug, bug, right? They're showing you his hip, zip, rip, lip. And here we got N, hen, ten, pen, men. So you are changing the first letter to make those new words, okay? So you have that. This one is just, you're working on the short A, ah, short O, ah. This is a review for most of you. So like this one would be B, ag. So you would write an A. Ox, you'd write an O. Once you get it done, there is a bonus. It says write the word for each of these pictures. If you want a challenge, write some sentences on the back, okay? The frog is on the log, or the fox is in the garden, or the present is in the bag. So you can write some sentences with the words on the front. All right. Now, this is where you definitely need your marble that was in your pack. You have a friction activity. Friction, what in the world is that, Miss Curry? That is a weird word, friction. So friction, if you take your hands right now and you start to rub them together, are they getting warm? That's what we do sometimes in the winter, right? That is friction. That is two surfaces rubbing together, and they are creating heat, right? When you have like water on your hands, sometimes it's harder to rub them versus when they're dry, because the water creates more friction at times on your hands, or it might be the other way around. You'll have to give it a test, okay? So you will need some kind of stick or straw. I'm assuming you would have one of those at home, and your marble, and there is an activity. It wants you to do that activity or experiment on different surfaces in your house. A rug or the carpet on the floor, a smooth floor, like if you have a tile floor or a wood floor, something nice and smooth that doesn't have any fabric on it. It wants you to lay out like a towel on the floor. This has a desk. Now, chances are you may not have a desk at home, or mom and dad are using it, but if you have like a coffee table or a dining room table, or you might have a little desk in your room, use that surface. Maybe a countertop in the kitchen might work too, okay? So it says, how fast will it go? A test of friction. So which surface causes your marble to go slower and not as far versus a surface where you barely have to push the marble and it just keeps going? If it keeps going or it rolls much faster, there's less friction causing it to stop, right? If it doesn't go far, or if it rolls slowly, that means there's a lot of friction between the marble and the surface that is causing it to stop. That's why when you're in the car with your mom or dad or whoever, when they want to stop, they use the brakes, okay? The brakes create friction, and that is what causes the wheels on the car to stop. That's why if you don't have brakes, your car may not stop for a while, because there is no friction to decrease the motion, okay? So that's why a lot of times your mom and dad, if you have wooden stairs, they may not let you go up and down them with socks on, because socks do not have as much friction on wood surfaces, and it's much easier to slip. Sometimes you might have socks with those little rubber grippy things on the bottom when you run around your house. That is because that creates more friction, and you are less likely to slip when you're running around. So keep that in mind. I hope you enjoyed this experiment. Looks like a lot of fun. All right. For math, you don't have nearly as much as Monday, so if Monday stuff needs to follow on over, that's fine. But you have a graph, a jelly bean jar. The first thing you need to do is you need to color these jelly beans by the color on the bean, okay? So if it says yellow, color all the ones that say yellow, yellow. If it says red, color all the ones that say red, red, and so on. Now over here, your job is to count all the red ones and write the number. Color all the yellow ones, write the number, green, orange, and blue. And then over here, you graph them. So if you have 5 red ones, you're going to color 5 boxes for red. So it's different ways to look at quantity, okay? You can graph it, you can count it, and even coloring it might help you figure out which one has the most and which one has the less. Bonus, write a sentence about the graph. Tell me, which one had the most? Which one had the least? Did any of them have the same number? Be interesting to find out. So that's your work there. Do you remember the fish page that I just showed you about draw, use the number line, write the number sentence, write the answer? This says 6 frogs sit on a log. 4 frogs hop away. Again, are we adding or subtracting? Are more frogs coming to the log or are some of them leaving the log? I think they're leaving. So in our picture, we would use X's, and on the number line, we would hop backward. So keep that in mind, okay? All right, so that is Monday, Tuesday, okay? If you're staying on course, if you're not, then you might watch this later and realize, hey, I haven't gotten to that yet, and that's fine, okay? So that is what you're up to for the next 2 days. I have your other 3 days right here, and we will walk through those in another video because this video is kind of long. So I hope you have some fun with some of these, especially the science experiments. I'm excited to try those too. So have fun with it. Don't whine. I know you're at home, but just because you're at home doesn't mean you're not expected to do some schoolwork, okay? If this was a typical day, you would be at school with me and all your friends, and this is some of the stuff we would be working on together. So home doesn't just mean toys, it also means making your brain smarter, okay? So keep that in mind. I hope you have a good day. Sorry, the weather's not super great if you're watching this after I post it, but make the most of it. All right, see you soon, friends, and I miss you all very much. Bye.